it is imperative to witness one of the best comic book adaptation ever made. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Dredd.
Breaking the law, 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 breaking the law.
But thank God the damn rain stopped. And damn do I owe an apology to the director, Peter Travis. You see, when I first heard about Dredd 3D was right after I saw The Raid. And given the fact that both films have a very similar premises, I quickly assumed this was like a Hollywood cash-in of The Raid popularity. And I start flaming the internet saying that this is gonna be a botched version of The Raid. But thank God I was wrong. This movie might have a similar premises, which is the reverse Die Hard. It's still a very entertaining and unique film. So, Peter Travis, I apologize. Based on a comic strip in a British science fiction magazine 2000 AD, the film followed the story of Judge Joseph Dredd. The world of Judge Dredd is set in a post-apocalyptic United States. Now the remnants of humanity is pushed to live in this decaying metropolis called Maker City, where crime, chaos, and anarchy rule. And the only person to stop the world from going to shit is the judge, the men and women of the Hall of Justice. And Dredd is one of the best. Now I have to admit that I have never read any Dredd comic before, despite the fact that I spent the last 12 months in the UK. But from what I heard, it's a very dark and violent comic book. And judging from what I saw on the big screen, this movie do the comic justice. Now since I'm doing a Dredd review, it is unavoidable to bring up the 1995 Sylvester Stallone movie Judge Dredd, a previous incarnation of Dredd that fell apart completely. Ignoring the dark and gritty nature of the comic book for a more campy, over-the-top Batman and Robin kind of style. The movie bombed completely, the critics hate it, and people just pretty much like it for how bad it is. But rest assured, this version of Dredd is the complete opposite. Now like I said before, the premise is very similar to The Raid. Judge Dredd and rookie Judge Anderson must fight their way up a 200-story apartment building called a makeup block in this movie to go and stop the psychotic drug dealer known as Mama and stop the production of a new drug that is taking over the city called the Slow-Mo, which turned everything into slow motion, and along the way taking out a drug lab, a bunch of psychos, a bunch of rapists, and a bunch of drug dealers. But unlike The Raid, which is a martial art film, this is a gun-blazing action film. And damn, it's one of the best I've seen. Now unlike the kick-ass Expendable 2, which is pretty much a no-holds-barred bullet fest, I would describe Dredd as a more tactical action. You see, Dredd doesn't burst into a room and just start spraying bullets everywhere. He plans his action, he uses cover, he moves like the cops, and when he fires his gun, he actually aims. So every time you see Dredd shoot something, that thing is dead. He doesn't waste bullets, giving us an exciting and gory gunfight with the right amount dosage of realism to add into it. People getting mutilated, decapitated, and immolated. What more can you ask for in an action film? And holy shit, Karl Urban, this guy is the perfect Dredd. I mean, this is me personally, but I think he went to the same level as Tom Hiddleston and Heath Ledger when it comes to portraying a comic book character. He is Dredd. Every action, every mannerism, every word that comes out of his mouth is Dredd. He was a perfect choice for Dredd. And you don't even see his face the entire film. Yes, the judge helmet actually covers his face up to here. You only see his frown like this. It was a perfect casting choice, and Karl Urban was the right man for the job. And the character of Dredd was also written very well. He does not give a shit. He does not give a fuck, man. He isn't loud. He isn't obnoxious. He isn't unnecessarily dark either. The guy is basically the embodiment of justice and law. If he sees a criminal, he kills him. If he sees someone that deserves to live, he stuns them. He does not give a shit. I mean, spoiler by the way. When he got shot, he's like, Medicaid. And when people ask him what happened that day, he's like, drug bust. Dredd line was so kick-ass and cool. It was written by someone who had read the comic, and it was portrayed by the fan of the comic. A match made in heaven. Also a big thumbs up to Lena Headey, who portrayed Mama, the main bad guy of the film. Now if you remember my Snow White review, I used her character Cersei Lannister as the example of what a good villainess is. And she does it again in Dredd. Her character is what a strong villain is. Like Dredd, she does not give a fuck even if she stares death in the face. She's always calm, she's always calculating, and she's never lose her cool. This is what a great villain is, and nobody does it better than Lena Headey. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but the 3D in this film is actually good. I am not kidding. This is the first time I think 3D has been utilized properly. Now, as I said earlier, the main focus of the film is this drug called the slow-mo, which turn everything into a slow motion matrix kind of like scene. When people use this slow-mo, the 3D enhance the experience. You see every particle, every smoke, every droplet of water, every piece of glass flying past you. It was eye candy, it was perfect. You literally feel that you are high. And there are some scenes in this movie, I'm not gonna say which one is it, you gotta go see it yourself. There are literally scenes that make you go, whoa, 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 which is something I never experienced in any 3D film before. I mean, the day has finally come when 3D is actually good. So yes, Dredd 3D, a film that I was skeptic the moment I heard about, but now it has become one of my favorite films this year. It is an action-packed dark film with a superb direction and superb acting, and to me one of the best comic book adaptations since the Nolan trilogy. This is something you really need to see. The critics love it, the fans love it, and the internet loved it. It's no brainer, we got a box office hit on our hand. You know what? I'm so sure that I'm gonna check Box Office Mojo right now. Get your ass to the cinema right now. Oh, it's 40 years in the ISO cell. Creep.